All right. Hey, how you doing? This is Eric from Amp Live TV and the Amp Live Real Estate Show, coming to you live here today for Wellness Wednesday or Education Wednesday. We're going to be talking about two things: deals, 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 how to find those deals. We've been going live on TikTok, building the community down there. That's been pretty good. YouTube is next. We'll start doing it there. But at the same token, we're going live across different social media platforms right now, including TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and all those other ones, all at once. So definitely like, love, and share. My name is Erick Jimenez of the Amp Live Real Estate Show. Like I mentioned before, AHA, Americans Helping Americans, Amp Live Media, and our sponsors and affiliate partners, and your funding partner, VIP Execs Realty, Lending and Investments, and Luxury Property, Step into Excellence. So we're going to get started today. This is going to be kind of like a pre-show for our live domination live webinar this evening at 7 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Definitely here to rock and roll with you. That, as it says here, right? So no theory, no fluff, just real estate in action. That is the whole goal. So I know I sent out a couple links here. And obviously it's out. It's been posted. There's some events. I'm going to go ahead and if you got a link, then definitely feel free to show your mug or jump in, ask some questions. I want to hear about you and see what's going on, and we'll go from there. Let me go ahead and put my mug up here really quick. Boink. And go and pop this in the chat real quick. I want to go ahead and share this. 1776 was independence from taxation. 2026 is independence from the financial system. Right? Same spirit, new revolution. Yes, that's our cause and mission to help our fellow Americans across the United States of America. I'm going to go ahead and let some people in at the end of the day. If you want to show your mug, cool. If you want to just throw in the chats, do the chat thingy. I appreciate it. Let us know where you're at, what state, what city you're from, all that other good stuff. We'd appreciate that as well. Definitely like, love, and share, because that does help out the algorithms as we're getting more and more views and we're starting to expand and grow. Appreciate it. Social media, it is what it is. It is the necessary evil. We're going to talk about some cool stuff today. About one, like I've been kind of sharing it on TikTok, and we've been going live on TikTok as well. We're going to do that every morning from probably like 9 to 12, just to share with the people on TikTok, the young millennials, I don't care if you're 18 to 80, as I always say. I believe we got Rod's here. He's going to be chit-chatting with us in a little bit. We're going to talk about what he's rocking and rolling. We got he's on fire, some good stuff going in. IT guy, real estate agent, and wanting to rock and roll creative real estate investing, or just real estate investing in general, to be able to kick some butt and build his legacy. So we're here to help him build his legacy as well through the American Mentee Program and the Amp Live Creative Real Estate Investing Accelerator. There's a couple more people that can be coming down. Maybe Anthony. I want to do a shout out to Jose. He's been, we chatted and he gave me some good, cool tips. I get it. I appreciate it. Thank you for that, for the YouTube stuff and maybe the TikTok stuff and a couple other social media type of marketing tips and tricks. So if you want to call it that, today I'm going to share creative real estate investing with you. I'll show you how, yes, you can buy a piece of property with no money, little money, other people's money, $10, $100, good credit, bad credit, no credit. Or if you have awesome credit, it's even easier. And if you got more money, if you got some money, it's even easier. But you can do those things. Trust me, I did it. And I was coming out of BK, to be honest with you, right? So, if I can do it, anybody can do it. But I'm at this stage now where I get to share this stuff. I get to share it with you and others across the United States of America to be part of our God-driven mission, and that is to help our fellow Americans across the United States of America. So let's get into it. I'm going to share the Subto calculator. Thank you for everybody who's been downloading that thing. Hopefully you enjoy it. It's awesome. Been working pretty hard on it. Comes with 3 bonuses as well. That's going to help you identify what the heck a Subto deal is, how to analyze it, and then how to work the numbers. And we're giving you scripts so you can there's no excuse, right, to be able to talk to these people. Because every call is a little bit different when you're opening it up, whether it's a pre-foreclosure, a probate deal, is it a tax default deal, is it a tired landlord, is it a nice house in a nice area, a luxury property, all those things. There's scripts there that are going to help you. And then obviously figuring out what your maximum allowable offer for a Subto is a little different than a traditional wholesale deal, okay? And I'll put it out there, our Amp Live Creative Real Estate Investing Accelerator. Yes, we're rolling it out again for what? Yes, 250-year celebration of America, as well as July 4th. So hopefully you're having fun, and you lucky guys and gals that get to blow those artillery shells in Texas and all those cool areas and shoot your guns and barbecue and have fun. Well, congratulations, and I'm envious and jealous, right? So let's get into it. I'm going to go ahead and see. I think Rod's here. We're going to have you introduce. I'm going to introduce you to Rod, and anybody else comes in. I'm going to go ahead and shift this gears over here. over to how everyday Americans buy houses without banks, right? No big down payment, no perfect credit, no experience, a proven 30-day system that's worked since 2003. It's battle tested. I'm going to go ahead and bring in Rod. So we'll probably go maybe about 30 minutes here because I do want to share this with you. And then I want to share the calculator with you. I want to share where we're finding these deals, but let's get a little feedback from Rod and what's going on and touch bases with him. There's a couple other people that if you got the link, definitely jump in. I want to hear your stories as well. If you can make it, awesome. I know because we put these on, we just roll, right? But 7 p.m., that is the live domination, live networking meetup. So definitely for sure attend that. I'm going to show you how to dominate your area. I'm going to show you what Subto is and break it down, seller financing, all that good stuff. But most importantly, Subto and how you can actually go in with wholesale and then move it into a Subto deal. But you need to understand and know how those exit strategies work. I'm going to share that with you tonight, share a little bit more about myself and what we do and how we're doing it, along with our VIP Execs Realty Lending and Investments, your lending partners. That's awesome. Because obviously we all need the funds and we need to have access to that stuff. So our resources become your resources. So let's get into it today. Hopefully Wednesday, hopefully you're doing well. You're gearing up for the week. I know there's going to be a long weekend and people are going to be doing stuff. So definitely be careful while you're out there. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and let me see what Mr. Rod's doing here. Got my coffee, got some water, got the books. I'm just kidding. Hey Rod. Let's click the button, right? We got that. Okay, let's go. Rod, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, Eric. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. And you? I know you've been having some fun there with the familia. That's awesome, man. I remember those days.
Yeah.
But it's so awesome when they're young. You know, as I always say, cherish them while they're young because they're going to grow up fast, brother.
Oh yeah. You gotta do it because right now they're spending a lot more time on their tablets. So I gotta get them out. I gotta get them out, man.
Good for you, man. See some sunlight, right? Get that natural vitamin D.
Yeah, we wanted to go out to Rosarito for the weekend, but that's not happening. So we're gonna end up being in Long Beach on Saturday and staying there.
Oh, really?
For the night. Yeah.
Okay, a little Airbnb hotel or what?
Hotel, just a hotel.
Awesome, that's cool. I know they got a cool one down there. I forgot what it's called.
Didn't want to feel like driving. Didn't want to feel like driving back late at night. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't blame you. And then right now, because it's 4th of July, everybody and their mother's in and out and all that good stuff. Not saying not to travel. You can't be afraid of the world, right? At the end of the day, what's going to happen is going to happen. But yeah, who wants to drive, man? That is how far is that? Like 4 or 5 hours or something? 6 hours? 3 hours?
4 hours. Yeah.
4 hours?
Puerto Nuevo, Baja California.
And then 4 hours back?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I would have done that for like a 3-day, like
there you go.
Like Friday through Monday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that right there is like a drive, and that's like work in itself. Unless you turn that drive into like an experience, which it would be, right? And then sitting, hanging out, and then come back the next day. Yeah, 2-3 days or something a little bit longer makes sense. So yeah, that's cool. Long Beach is cool. So what's going on these days, man? We're just getting into it a little bit, kind of like a little pre-show before 7 p.m. and the live domination webinar.
Yeah,
what's
definitely.
going on?
We're getting hot on the leads.
Right?
We have
excited for it.
The lead flow is coming through. A lot of follow-ups. We have one LOI that got signed yesterday afternoon.
Awesome.
So we to get in contact with the lady and figure out what's next, and maybe go take pictures of the property and get it going, get an actual contract going.
Yes.
We do have a few LOIs going that went out late last week, so we're waiting for those. And we have, I think you and I have to connect on some of the leads, the follow up, how to approach them next.
Yeah, some details and some.
Yeah. So it's coming in hot. I'm really happy about it.
Awesome.
Currently I'm busy with IT, but nonetheless, I'm chiming in. I'm trying to do my best to keep up with the leads.
And you're doing great, man. No, you're doing great. The main thing is this. I always say, right? Show up. Don't you show up to the park? Hey, whether you're late, you're on time, or you know what I'm saying. With business wise, it's different because this is obviously your business, helping you build your business and helping expand and grow. How important it is to obviously, if we got an appointment, I know you're prompt, man. That's your jam. We're all like that. We'll be there. We're gonna, we get that LOI sign, we go, man, boom, we're gonna go, we're gonna do our thing. But what's awesome is that you get to be there live, or I'm working, get to see it, downloads into your mind. and then you just rinse and repeat, man. And that's a beautiful, beautiful, lovely thing. But yeah, the leads are coming in hot. There's good ones, and the flow's looking good. Your pipeline's expanding. So I'm excited for you, man, to be honest with you. You smell it's coming down. It's coming down hot. And then, as we get those deals locked in, a lot more other stuff too. We're going to talk about, chat with you about as well. What you got going on. So we'll definitely do that. Anything else going on besides the family? We got hot leads rocking and rolling. We're going to get see some deals locked in.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really happy about that. I think also the excitement is just keep the marketing flowing. I think that was one of my a little bit of I guess I would have setbacks. So if I would run out of leads, or maybe because I didn't work some of the leads properly, I would just kind of not be consistent with outbound marketing. So, but right now it's like I told you this morning, I have a new list coming in hopefully tonight, and then I'll pause the one of the workflows and resume the NODs again.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I hear you. Are you talking about the tax defaults?
Yeah, the tax defaults. So the tax defaults are on it right now. I think it's about to be done tomorrow.
Really?
But yeah, I don't think there were that many. There were like 2,000, but a lot of them not interested. A lot of I'd say like 20-30% of those have been put on a follow up.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
because they're still a little bit like in denial. Like, hey, I'm going to fix it. I'm going to take care of my taxes. Or what are you talking about type stuff. And I'll show you how to work those as well, right? Because it's just a matter of having a conversation about that, because they're not going to assume that they're going to assume maybe you know, maybe you don't, but 9 times out of 10 they're not going to know that, hey, what are you calling me for? No, do I want to sell my house? I don't know. But at the end of the day, I saw some of these like 5 or 6 years. I think one was 10 years. I'm surprised how that worked out.
And essentially they're on a deadline too, because auction, depending on which county you're in, it's going to go through, and if an investor buys it, they're pretty much going to lose it anyway. So right now it's perfect time to get them some cash on hand and get them moving.
When is the next auction for that? Do you know? Just curious. I haven't looked because I don't.
I'm looking at actually, as a matter of fact, I just had it open earlier for San Bernardino County. It's July, so July 17th.
July 17th. Okay. July 17th. And they're going to be doing the auction for San Bernardino?
Yeah, for San Bernardino. I'm looking to see what the parcels are, because on some of this stuff, it's easier. It's actually more convenient to do it manually, to look at the list directly from the county, because those are the most accurate ones.
Okay.
And then obviously start, skip trace and outbound marketing. Some of those I might even have to do on cold calling, one by one, because since they're coming up on the tax deadline, so that there's a higher urgency. Right,
and I know that the tax default flow that you got is kind of like a standard one, generic, right? And so they're like, what, if and that's where the calls would either come in, go to the juggler. Hey, I just want to talk to you. What are you calling me for? Well, I just want to touch bases with you, right?
Right.
Public information, and then we're going to get into it and saying, hey, you know what? It looks like we're taking care of those taxes. We're actually looking for properties, but if we need some help, we're here to help you out and all that, and then move forward in that manner. And then the workflows you got are pretty friendly, which is cool, because people they're not opting out, even though it says opt out. They're like, and then I noticed that it's repeating, right? So it'll repeat and ask, hey, did you still interested in selling that property? And then they get refired up again, which is the follow-up thingy.
Yeah.
And they're still not opting out. They're like, yes, or they're saying no. Everybody's going to say, at least say stop and things of that nature. That's good. But even then, I know that some of those ones that say stop are probably going to, possibly, if it's an NOD or any type of distress situation, right?
Right.
They're just don't want to talk to anybody, right? They're stressed out.
Yeah.
So even those, there's a way. I like to call maybe like on Mondays, Mindset Money Monday. That's what we've done in the past with mentees and students. And we just refire up, because they're like, hey, should I just all these leads that said they're interested and then maybe they weren't, or they said they weren't. I say, go back, take a look, see what the situation is, and then let's refire up that list and then shoot it back out and asking them, hey, you interested in selling your property, or or are you interested in selling your property? They're going to ask why, and then I know that I think you're asking, right? So we'll see if we can get you a tax default workflow. That kind of is, so they'll engage a little bit more, and they're going to like, yeah, okay, they're either going to get pissed off, or they're going to say, no, I got it covered, or yeah, talk to me, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. And I know you're going to fire up the NOD list, so that's cool. So we'll get some more of those, and a lot more follow up at the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah. No, I like the workflow that, like I told you before, the CRM that I have was specifically built for wholesalers and investors. So the workflows, the SMS messages, the follow-up sequence that it has, I mean, it could go up to like 180 days if they don't opt out.
Yeah.
Actually, probably more. I'd say more.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's a long list. I wish it could be printed out, but it'll be like on our 101 that I have to share my screen, and you'll see the workflow. I mean, and then there's 3 different sequences through the day. The messages alternate. It's not the same messages. So I like a 9 to 12 sequence, and 12 to 4 and 4 to 8. So each of those sequence sends different messages through those times. And that's why you've seen like some of the stuff, it's like more friendly. They're more friendly, and they're not like, hey, we want to buy your house,
Right.
Yeah.
So, they're not freaking out too much about it at the end of the day. When you're going to the juggler, because there are some aggressive ones, right?
That's normal. That's normal.
They'll get
but yeah, it's I really like it. I use it all the time now, so it's like I kind of put a little bit more detail onto that, and modify some stuff. But other than that, it's flawless, man. I don't get a lot of opt outs. There is opt outs, but some of the other ones that have not said anything, of they haven't said no, or they've said no, for example, it doesn't eliminate them from a follow up sequence. And that's how it starts. Like every, like a 7 days after, it'll follow up again. Another 7 days after, another 14 days after. And it just keeps going.
Right. No, that's cool. And that's good, at the end of the day, because it does refire them up, right? So they're like, you know what? Because something happened. Maybe it was an escrow, then it fell out, or they're thinking, hey, I'm going to get a loan mod, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that, and then it doesn't pan out. They're like, yeah, I'm kind of interested. I know that because you had some indie stuff in there, right? For I think was that Indianapolis, whatever.
Yeah,
we see some stuff coming there saying, hey, make me an offer. Make me an offer. Hey, I got 2 or 3. You make me an offer with a portfolio package. They're like, cool.
Yeah.
Now I know we got to touch on those too, right? Because we've been concentrated on SoCal.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely to at least revive those, and it doesn't hurt. That's going to be more offers out to them. It is a little different because they're out, and it's another state. We got to turn that seller into, befriend them, so they take some pictures and videos for us, and get some true numbers based on what the heck those properties need. And it seems like a lot of them are landlords, right? Tired landlords. Of some sort. So that's a little trickier jam at the end of the day, but doesn't mean, hey, we go with the no-brainers, right? Go soup. It's gonna be low ball. Too bad. It is what it is. But a lot of them can turn into seller finance, right? And those can be sold, and they can be sold off into as a wrap, which is what we'll be talking about: wholesale, subject to seller finance. And I know we talked a little bit later when we get off here, and then maybe if we got some time, we're going to go ahead and we'll talk about those things we talked about, like Irvine. We got that hot one. I'm not going to say too much about it, but we'll talk about that one and what that's all about, and how we're going to continue to work more of those, which are going to be some little gold mines here in Southern California. And they're not like it's not like these are pretty big, right? They're over $1 million buckaroos. So, it's going to be a good thing. I'm excited for you, man. So that's good. We'll go through all that as well. And any questions, anything that's on your mind, anything you want to share?
Not at the moment. Like I said, I'm pretty happy. No, that's fine. I'm pretty happy about it. I'm really excited about what's coming up. I really enjoy, all the learning that I go through with you. It puts me in a different mindset all the time.
Awesome.
Like I said, like you're the one who kind of convinced me to bring back my marketing back to California, just because,
right.
I was like, I don't really feel comfortable talking about $1 million homes. It makes it easier for, like Indianapolis, for example. Market value is like, 250, 300 tops.
Right.
you're getting this homes for like chump change, so, like 70 grand or 80 grand or
Right.
whatever.
True.
Yeah. So now that I've been with you in your program a lot more in the last month or so,
Mhm.
I've gotten a little bit more comfortable to understanding how to run numbers, especially on this area.
Right.
So I'm getting more proficient about it. And like the stuff that you send me, like I'm trying to run numbers more often, so that way
Right.
I can get in the habit of understanding the numbers right away.
Yeah, and underwriting. Yeah, I do that on purpose.
Yeah.
Send it out your way. Say, hey, we may have them already sometimes, but I want to see what you come up with, and then we tweak it out, right? To get
Yeah.
efficient at it.
Yeah.
And the numbers are there, and that's cool too, because it's not, we deal with $1 million. And I'm glad that you're back, and I'm glad that you said that, because talking with another young man in Northern California, is like he's doing the same thing. Oh man, I'm just having a hard time here in California, or the competition, or he's afraid, so he goes to a different state where he thinks it's easier, right? And I always say sometimes the grass is, some people think the grass is greener on the other side, when it's just as green right where you're standing. As I always say, your own backyard, because it's true. But it's just a mindset, and you're doing great about that, man. Even like the bag of tricks stuff, I'm sure you got one now, because I know I suggested it to you, right? And I suggested to everybody else out there, if you're watching this and you look at this, you should have a bag of tricks, because you can do this business anywhere. It's mobile, right? You got your cell phone, you got your iPad, you got a laptop. Take it with you. Get a little chip. I got these little chips, right? I don't know. You're an IT guy, so maybe you got a better jam. But putting those little bag tricks with your bag, and you got and you got contracts. Yes, even paper ones, right? Because what am I going to do with paper? Well, hey, you'll be surprised where a deal might pop up, and you've been doing that because you've been here. Eyes and ears have been open. You've been listening to people. I'm sure, as we talked about before. And then, hey, it could be like, hey, there's a house, and then you happen to talk with them, and then you're inside the house, and then you're gonna, hey, you know what? I'm done with this. I need help. Can you help me? Obviously, we're here. I'm here for you. At the end of the day, boom, it's a call. It's an RC connection. For local, I'm going to drop by. We're going to make it happen, or someone in our team will be there. Or, it's, hey, we got these things, right? Conference call. How do we think we do deals throughout the United States of America? I can't be everywhere. We can't be everywhere, but we get on these things, and then, hey, throw me on there, and then we work a deal, right? But at least you have a contract. Write it up on paper, right? And an addendum or whatever it takes, and all that good stuff, and your Post-it notes, flyers. I know that I know it still seems old school, right? But it doesn't hurt, because I know you're in IT, and I suggest this for everybody. I think I did a little driving for dollars segment, right? About driving for dollars, door knocking, all that good stuff. Looking for the ugliest houses on the block, because those are some hot lists at the end of the day, because it's an individual list to you. And nobody else is really going to be hounding. Somebody's going to, there's probably people calling, maybe some texting, could be agents and things of that nature. But with you, popping it out there, right? Pop up, because when you're driving, do you have your eyes and ears open? I know we haven't got into it, because I know you're doing a bunch of other stuff, but at the end of the day, there are apps, or you just take a picture, do a little voice memo, right? Hey, this is the property, boom, I got to call these people. And then you're building a driving for dollars list, right? And then upload it. Skip trace and upload it to your platform with a different little campaign, right? And see what happens. Or you're already at the house, boom, Post-it note, pop it on the door. Give me a call, right? Love to speak to you about your property. What's this all about? Or, what I'm saying, leads will come down the wire that way too. Because I know right now we're working on I always say one vertical at a time, right? But as far as you driving around, all that good stuff, how's that been going? Has it been a thought, or has it not been a thought? Well, I know we haven't talked too much about that.
I know we talked about it, and I haven't really put much thought into it.
The effort
in general, just because the times that I've been driving, it's been like really either I'm in a rush, or I'm coming down home from a long day, and I'm like, I don't want to stop. So it's in the pipeline. I think I wanna work my workflow first to see how I'm gonna do it, and then start putting a list together.
And it's not even putting a list. It's just like I always say, hey, take a different jam or different route to wherever you're going to, right? Or if it's a new route, or if it's a client, maybe the client. Most people just are creatures of habit, right? They go the same way. Take the same freeway, same street, the fastest way to get there, boom. But at the end, I know I've done it too, right? Even when I'm with family, like, oh, geez, there goes oh, look at that. Look at that ugly. That's a good deal right there, probably. We just keep on going, because you don't want to stop, or you're with the family, or like, hey, what are you doing? But I've done it tons of times. Oh, what's Dad doing? Always looking at a pad. All right. You pull over, get the address, boom, snap it, put a little voice memo. Of course, they got driving for dollar apps and all that good stuff. But be careful with those, because they can nickel and dime the shit out of you, right? You take a picture, you do a skip trace, you do that, and you're going, oh shit, there's $500-600 already, stacked up.
Yeah, no, I don't think I'll be doing that. I know I've been suggested to do so by other people before, but I'm pretty I'm pretty good about writing stuff right away. Once I get to it, but it'll be more in the terms of like, hey, let's do this for a week, let's compile it, and then upload it to the CRM and let the magic go through and start outbound marketing.
Because there's gold everywhere. I always say there's gold in their hills. When you're driving around, drive this way, drive that way. There's 5 to 6 houses. Used to be like maybe 2 or 3. Now there's like 5 or 6 or more per block where they got the ugly houses, right?
Oh yeah,
man. So you just take a picture, make a voice memo, write it down, paper, whatever you're going to do, and then or pop it in a spreadsheet or whatever you got, notes on your phone, and then go from there, right? At the same token, while when you're driving around, it's cool. It's just business, right? It's no different than prospecting for, let's say, AI, but people give you leads or however your business works. A lead is a lead, right?
Right.
And it's just part of your everyday thing, and becomes, if you do it enough, it just becomes like second nature, right? Because it's part of, hey, well, there's money right there. Boom. Let me go put a Post-it note. Let me take a picture. Boom. I think I want to go after this one, right? And then your list just comes together over time. And then you have it, put on a spreadsheet, upload it, and then boom, work it and see what comes out of it. Of course, looking at your KPIs and, how many people did I call, a text, how many houses did I look at? What was the time frame? It's 2-3 minutes. Boom, there's a house. 2-3 minutes. Boom, there's a house. I think I was in a neighborhood a couple of weeks ago, just in a neighborhood, and from an appointment from a property, and just started walking around. Then I popped a live, and while walking and doing a live, I go, geez, okay, I walked 1 block, and there's 5 houses on that 1 block that were probably overgrown, the ugliest houses on the block. There's something going on, right? And maybe there's not, but at most 9 times out of 10, there's something going on, with the condition of the house, the grass, and looking them all up and going, well, shit, that was easy peasy, right? So this shows that remember, old school, new school, right? Because I know you're IT and you're all about the new school because you're good at what you do, man. I know that. With the old school, right? Most people don't want to do the old school, right? I don't want to make phone calls. I don't want to door knock. I don't want to drive for dollars. I don't have to. I can do this now. I can surf for dollars, right? Right on my phone, go build a list and then run it and do its thing, right? Because time is valuable. But when old school, like I mentioned before, when new school starts, getting saturated and everybody and their mother's doing it, then old school becomes what? Gold, money, right? Because people aren't willing to do it. So then that's what I'm going to do too later on, probably July and August. I know it's hot, but not as hot as Texas, right? Because we got lovely weather in California, right? Crazy California. So I'll talk to you a little bit about that and a few other people that maybe want to take on the challenge of doing some simple getting out there. Because we did put together a door knocking playbook and all that good stuff to get the young cats, college teenagers, not teenagers, but college peeps, new peeps, to get out and build a team and being able to get them to hit those doors, door knock, right, and all that good stuff. So I want to talk to you. We're been wanting to launch that for a while, but most people just don't want to get their butts out. You know what I mean? They don't want to go out and do that stuff, but they want to learn. But they'd rather do it on hey, let's do the TikTok or the YouTube thing and all that good stuff. But then it's just paralysis of analysis and no execution. Nothing happens, and how that works, right?
Yep. Yeah. Then you never do it.
You never do it. That's right. Never gets freaking done.
All this damn technology that keeps coming up, man. It's like doesn't want to make you get out of your house.
It's right. Yeah, and that's by design too, man. It's no lie. Everything that's kind of like the topic for the show today, and then going into the Real Estate Domination Live webinar, is that the system is there, man, to keep you out, keep us out, keep other people out. It's there based on the credit stuff, right? You can have a 650 FICO, but then someone else has a 600, and 650 gets a better rate, 600 doesn't, or they might not even get the loan at the end of the day, which is bullshit, right? So that, or BS, I should say. I got to watch what I say because we're streaming on different platforms that regulate that stuff. I'm not gonna lie, we got restricted on something because I said a word, but it was about I was making fun of my own stuff and our own program, right?
Could be Facebook.
Can't see, huh?
Could be Facebook because I've seen it before.
Really?
Yeah.
It was kind of weird. And I was like, what the heck? I mean, it wasn't even a bad word. It was just, I guess, considered maybe some speech or something that wasn't nicey nice. That's the thing nowadays too, right? Is like, man, you got to water down everything. And that's just not,
Yeah,
not
people
me,
are too
man.
sensitive.
It's hard for me to try to water stuff down. I'm pretty understanding and I get it. But at the same token, it's like, geez, come on. But you're right. Getting out of the house.
Yeah.
People need that vitamin D, and that's to keep you, in a box, to keep you where you're at, to keep you honed in. And the dopamine's on this thing, and the dopamine's on the computer, the dopamine's, and just even with business, right? It's like so many tools that you want to do. You got to do this, to do that, to do that, to do this, to do that. Before it was like, let's do this and that, and boom, let's go. This and that, and boom, let's go. 3 steps, right? And I don't know. It's a different world these days, but that's what keeps people out too, right? And even the old dogs that I chat with, right? They're like, just give me leads. I say, why don't you build a machine, right? Build a machine so we can bring you leads at the end of the day. But then you got to work them, right? And people just don't want to figure that out. And I'm not gonna lie, CRMs are a pain in the butt. I don't do it. I got a tech guy. You know how to do it because you're an IT guy, right? But not everybody has that luxury, right? So it's a lot of elbow grease, right? As I always say, elbow grease, man. Copy and paste, spreadsheets, paper, and all that good stuff.
Oh yeah, and even with my wife, because she's not really like a computer genius. So like whenever she helps me with leads, she's just like, okay, when I sit her down in front of the computer, she's like, okay, tell me exactly what to do, what to press, and that's it. Like, I don't want to know anything else about it.
That's straight up sales, man, action. Right? That's like my wife, man. Don't give me the story. Just tell me this, and that, so I can go get it done.
That's it.
I said, all right. But I can't help myself, right? Are you sure? Because I don't want you to come back and then ask me 20,000 questions after, which usually happens, right?
Oh yeah, yep.
It's funny, but no, I definitely get that, man. All right, so anything? So I know we'll talk a little bit on RC and get that rolling, rocking and rolling. At the same token, I know, hey, I appreciate you tapping in and sharing your story. We really do appreciate that, and I'm gonna utilize that IT stuff you got rocking and rolling. I know you got some things that you're going to be sharing with us as well, and I do appreciate that. I know we've been talking about it, and even with the program and sharing it out with others and things of that nature. So I do appreciate doing that, as well as getting ready, gearing up to hit those goals. Now we usually do have something I'm going to share. I'm going to send it to you, and I don't think I think we've gone to that step yet, but we'll talk a little bit about it so we can have that target, which I understand where you're wanting to hit. And how we're going to get there. We're going to define it a little bit more, call it like the micro goal sheet, right? Based on tangible and intangible goals and things of that nature and what you want to achieve, time frames. And I always say when people put that stuff together, it doesn't always have to be about real estate, right?
Right.
Those are the things you want to do. I know you have other, passions, and even with your wife and your family, right? So I always say tangible, intangible. Doesn't always have to be about real estate, right? Because it's usually the real estate that you want to get to so you can get to those other things that are really your passions. Not that real estate isn't your passion or won't be, because I know it is, and you got the bug, brother. We talked about that, and you're really fired about that. Let me interruptions, right? Always live, real, and raw, brother. Turn that off real quick. But I did want to share that with you as well. And then we got some other stuff rolling. If you can make it at 7, awesome, great. And if not, then I get. What else we got? We basically sharing some stuff today. Wanted to share a little bit about some deals, and I wanted to share the Subto calculator as well as breaking down some deals, things of that nature. But I know it's going to be a little bit longer than I anticipated on doing. But I did want to get you on here to hear what's going on. I want you to share it with others as well. As far as what we're doing here and what your goals are, I know you're doing the IT thing. Your time frame, I know, is your frame set. Your mindset has changed, because remember we're talking about, hey man, you do have your bag of tricks, right? Did you fire that up? I won't put you on the spot again, but did you fire that up and you have that now?
Getting there, halfway through. Halfway through. Okay. Yeah, I mean, as an IT guy, I'm always carrying my equipment with me, so it's not. Yeah. It's
not like something you don't know about, just adapting to real estate now.
Yeah, exactly. And, obviously with mobile hotspots and everything, I'll just put it on my phone, put my laptop, and, search any information that I want based on where I'm at.
Yeah, even and I take it a little further. Like I said, if you haven't done it, hey, you may not ever use them, but I guarantee if you're in the business long enough, you will use them, right? And that's some punching out those contracts, addendums, and being able to lock something up on go paper, right? Because people still do that. Yeah, in the Midwest they do, man, a lot. A lot of the wholesalers, you see, every contract you see is written on paper, right? With the crazy ass chicken scratch, right?
Oh man.
Right? And
Yep.
everybody's using, the digital signatures, but when you get an older couple that's 50, 60, 70 years old, do you really think they're going to, some do, some are savvy, right? Some understand, know how to do it, but 9 times out of 10, they got to print it, sign it, then they got to figure out how to scan it and get it back to you. If
Oh yeah.
out of
Yeah.
state, So that's the other thing about what we're doing here as well. But anything on your mind, anything you want to share? I'm going to dig in a little bit right here.
Not at the moment. I'm
Okay.
pretty good. I'm really excited. Like I said, I'm really thankful, for being on your program as well. A lot of useful information, a lot of help, a lot of golden nuggets that I've learned over the last month
Cool.
with you straight out.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited with keep coming back.
Awesome.
Everything
Yeah.
is-
No. Yeah, it's going to be us because we're going to be actually, when we get ready to rock these deals, that's going to be the fun part. Sorry about that. Let me get this. Turn that in. Oh, I turned it on. Okay, cool. There it is. And that's the fun part, is obviously cashing those checks, but then scaling up and building the way you want to build, right? So you have acquisitions, dispo, and all that good stuff, because I know you want to transition to doing that, along with the real estate agent thing and all that good stuff, getting your license and firing that up, or continuing to keep it, right? And going from there. So, all right, cool. So I'm going to get into, obviously, we have something down below. I'm not sure what exactly it is. There's a QR code right there, and that is for the MLS. And I will have a question for you. How are you with talking with agents? What is your jam and what is your input with that? Because I know mine, it's an acquired taste at the end of the day, right? And the unicorn thing, right? But you're more about technology. Seems like, hey, technology, text, rings, voice message, emails and stuff, and then continue and then go from there. A lot of the old school stuff, you're like, man, I don't know if I want to mess with that. Is that what I'm hearing?
No, I could talk to agents. I don't think that's a problem. I think it's just more like timing, based on my schedule. I just schedule very sporadically. I know a lot of agents have, like, for example, a specific time and date, and it just doesn't align with mine. But it's not a problem at all. Some I've talked to agents where they really just don't like people like us,
Really?
wholesale. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
They're like, why would anybody give you a house? And they're just it's usually older people.
Uh-huh.
And for them to for us to explain it, it's even harder.
You're talking about, like, so what? Tell me a little bit about that. Like, if you talk to an agent and then they come back with some riffraff, what exactly is transpiring there? Why do you think that's happening?
Some like don't know the wholesale process, and some think it's a scam. So
All right. So are you
yeah,
telling them, like, hey, I want to wholesale this property?
yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So
So
are you
that they
qualifying them before you tell them all that stuff, or what?
Yeah, because it's easier to work with investors with agents that have worked with investors in the past, so they understand the lingo, um, as opposed to somebody who's just dealing with, for example, straight residential properties and helping families. But yeah, that's kind of what I do. Just kind of vet them first, make sure that I work with agents who are familiar with the terminologies that we
Mhm.
use, and it makes it easier because they'll just go out and get it and tell me, hey, I have a pocket listing in this area. It's not going to go out yet until this much. It needs a lot of work. Make an offer, and we'll go from there. So they understand everything.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think we had another gentleman, Mr. Anthony, must have dropped off. He's from Texas, German Texas. Gonna have him introduce himself if he comes back. But so on that, it's a little bit of a different jam, right? Now, obviously, you're going after the properties that have been on the market for a long time, and it's great for subject to and assumable and seller finance type stuff because of the market. I'm going to share with you on some of the tidbits on that. I don't have the numbers; I didn't pull them up, but I was going to talk about some other stuff. But since I brought that up, now with those type of agents, now when you're hitting them up and you're vetting them, so and it's going to be from experience as well, right? Because if you're talking to some of these agents and they understand how to work with investors, then they're going to say, yeah, hey, this is what I'm looking for. This is what this is. I understand wholesaling. I understand what you're doing. It does make it a little easier for the transition, but at the same token, there's newer agents, right, that don't know that stuff. And if you explain it to them properly, whether it's wholesaling or, hey, I want to go and buy this property sub two, I want to buy this property seller finance, right? That's being done right now in today's market if you have the tolerance for real estate agents, right? And it's about how you approach them, because it's always going to be the market. The property's been on the market for over 90 days, right? Sometimes 6 months or longer, right?
Yeah.
And they're fired up and motivated to, and they're like, man, if I just want to make a commission, but I want to help my seller, right? I don't have my seller make my commission. If we can help them get that, then it's a matter of pitching them the same, that seller finance or sub two type of deal, even the wholesale stuff, right? But that's cool that you're telling them that, because some people will freak out. Oh, I'm trying to wholesale and this, and they're just going to, because think of it this way. Wholesaling is like a one-trick pony, right? And it's starting to have like a stigma, like back in the day, well, hey, if you tell somebody you sell cars, they're like, oh, you sell cars, you're a car salesman, right? Oh, shit. Real estate agents had that same stigma, but they spent a lot of money on trying to change it and go, oh, I'm a realtor, right? I am a real estate agent. I'm a professional, right? So the stigma is not as bad, right? If that makes sense. So
Yeah.
go out and tell people, yeah, and I'm not saying this is how we do it. And I wouldn't, hey, Anthony, how's it going, man? I'll get with you right now and pop you on here in a second. You go ahead and introduce yourself, and then introduce yourself to Rod. At the same token, he's rocking and rolling with us. Then I want to hear a little bit about what you got going on. But with the agent stuff, disclosing it, yes, but it's qualifying them, because remember, like I mentioned, Rod, it's all about us qualifying the sellers, the agents, the brokers, not the other way around. Even though they think that's happening, but we're really qualifying them to see if we ever even want to work with them, right? And you got to remember, if you're working with an agent, they're I'm not gonna lie. They work for us. They work for you. They work for the investors. They work for the client, right? What do they have to bring to the table? The MLS? Maybe some skill sets? Is it negotiating? Is it finding off-market deals? 9 times out of 10, no. Very small, minute amount of agents that know how to do that. Sure, if they're working with investors, they understand it. They're going to say, hey, look, I'm looking for cash people, wholesalers. Maybe they'll work with wholesalers. Maybe they won't. But it is an acquired taste, right? And then going in and asking them all those questions and vetting them, which is, we'll go through as well. And you can get the new ones, you can get the seasoned ones. We call them unicorn agents, right? At the end of the day, the ones that understand, the ones that want to make some money, and they're not afraid to say, oh, I'm not going to share that, even though it's their legal responsibility as their fiduciary responsibility as a real estate agent, right? And professional fiduciary responsibility to share what? Every offer that comes down the wire. But do they do that? Not every agent does, right?
Right.
So it's there, but if you tell them, hey, this is what I got, even if it's like hey, I'm doing this is what I want to do, this is what I'm seeing, there's a way to pitch it to the point where like, hey, that sounds kind of cool. Can I get you on the horn? And I guarantee you, once I share this with you, we'll have some of those just for shits and giggles, or better watch your mouth, right? Just for the shizzles and the bibbles, right? and be able to talk to some of those agents and present those, because a lot of times they'll have the agent and the seller, right, on a Zoom. And there's myself and you or whoever at the end of the day, and then we're chit-chatting with them and asking them, going through the full submission, right? Like we talked about before, and getting in touch with them, going through the full submission. But now the agent's there kind of to regulate, but at the same token, the seller's there, right? So they don't feel too, the walls. The goal is to break down the walls of both the agent and the seller that's there and on a Zoom, right? And as you move forward, you'll be surprised at how many of them are going to say, yeah, if that can work, go for it. Let's make it happen. Same stuff's going to happen. It's almost like going valley to valley, but they don't have to be, they could be here in California, right? Or they could be anywhere in the United States of America. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. Because, I know that everybody approaches it different, right? And disclosing is fine to a degree, but you know what you're going to get, right? Riff-raff. And it's a good thing, because then you're qualifying all those people, right? I always say that, and that's the thing that I think, and this is what I'll be preaching for a while. When I got started, I didn't call myself a wholesaler. I was a real estate investor. I am a real estate investor, even when I didn't even do a deal, right? I said, but it's right here in the mind, and that's how I'm going to frame it. I am a real estate investor, and I think more wholesalers, should call themselves, real estate investors at the end of the day, instead of like a wholesaler. For me, a wholesaler is like, it's kind of like the car salesman thing, right? Oh, you're a wholesaler. Are you a daisy chainer? Are you a copy and paster? All that good stuff. Wholesaling is great. You can build a big business doing it, but it's no different than like being an agent with a sales team, right? The brokers are the ones that make money, right? At the end of the day, once you build the business, and then you got acquisitions and dispo. Those, think of it as like acquisitions as your listing agent, dispo is your buyer's agent, and then you got your team in between, and then you, right, are the rainmaker, right? Make it rain, and bring me the deals, and I'll decide what we're closing, what we're doing, right? That's the purpose of the wholesale thing. But you're also leaving a lot of money on the table because you can do subject to, seller finance, buy and hold with little to no money, right? You don't need the bank's permission to do any of that shit. Excuse my French. Any of that shizzle, right? Any of that stuff. But does that make sense? I want to talk. We're going to get into that too. If you decide that you want to take that route, because everybody's a little bit different, right? As we do this business, and agents is a tall. But if you're already an agent and are in that realm, it's a matter of understanding how they talk, right? And knowing that you're right. They've always been like the evil. Hey, agents and wholesalers are investors, right? Do they really work together? Well, I'm telling you right now, just my prediction. And for the next 3, 4, 5, 10 years, that's the future of real estate. They're coming together. They're going to have to come together, because if they don't, right now, wholesalers and investors are blowing doors over agents right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's an inevitable thing. But let me go ahead and I'll introduce you to Anthony real quick. Rod, here's Anthony. Let me see. He's out of Texas, Sherman, Texas. Okay. Anthony, you there?
I am available. Hello, everyone. Rock and roll, rock and roll.
Awesome. Hey, meet Rod. Rod's here in Southern California. He's kicking some butt, crazy deal flow, and some big, juicy properties that are coming down the wire. Rod, meet Anthony. He's out of Texas, in Sherman, Texas, doing some awesome stuff with. I'll let you share with us, okay?
Well, nice to meet you, Rod.
Nice to meet you, Anthony.
Oh man, again, like Erick said, I'm out of Sherman, Texas, and I'm just so excited to be a part of the team, and looking forward to putting Texas on the map. With what we're doing, I'm gonna be that. I'm gonna be the face of displaying in Texas.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
We're excited about that, and I know there's some cool stuff. Tell us a little bit about what you've been doing. Maybe get a little brief blurb of what you've been doing. I know we're gonna be working together. We're gonna be rocking the program. We're gonna be sharing the program. I know you do some interesting things with nonprofits and things of that nature, which is something dear to us and what we're wanting to do with the Erick houses and autism houses and things of that nature. And getting into more of that. And I know you'll be able to help and guide, and we're going to help and guide you.
Oh yeah,
help you build your legacy, brother, because I know you're doing some awesome stuff out there.
Oh yeah.
Rodrigo.
Well, thank you, Erick. Yes, sir. I my background in real estate, I guess, would date back to 2012, when I entered the real estate game doing forensic audits. That's where I started. Oh yeah. And so I went through a bad divorce, and so I dropped the ball, picked the ball back up, maybe about 6 years ago. Got back in the game as a beginner real estate investor, as you were saying. Some call it a wholesaler.
Yeah.
So I started, got back into the wholesale aspect of it. Then went on to the loan brokering aspect, because I saw that the two go together. Then a few years later, my wife and we founded a Thankful Place, which is the group home or transitional home program that we have. So we have a few facilities set up. And yes, I would love to assist you in, developing, starting, and running the autism house.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's going to be awesome. We'll be doing that in January, but we want to get prepared now, because I know it takes time to do the 503c and all that other good stuff and start rocking.
That is correct.
So, man, it looks like you've been through, had some challenges and stuff, man. What was the biggest obstacle?
Honestly, my biggest problem was definitely consistency. As at one time I had too many irons in the fire, so I was spreading myself a bit thin.
Yeah.
And so as a result, today I'm lacking the automation and basically everything, all of the good things that you guys are doing.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
so that was my biggest challenge.
Gotcha. Yeah, and we're gonna fix all that, man. So we'll get that rocking and rolling. Rod's really good at that stuff too, and we got IT team and or I should say a tech team.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, so we'll get that rolling. And so you're doing these houses, right? Now, can you tell me just a little bit about, to maybe touch on that with some of those houses that you're actually working on and what you're looking for?
Now, which ones are we talking about? The transition ones or just basically some fix and flips?
So yeah, the transition stuff. So the stuff that you're doing with that stuff, which is I commend you for doing so. That definitely takes a special part in someone's heart to do some of that stuff. Even though yes, we're here to make a profit, and some of these are not because they're nonprofit, right? But it all costs money.
It all costs money. Oh
Yeah.
man. So actually, what I didn't mention was a lot of the properties that I do have and that I was able to convert to assisted living facilities um, come from a result of my property management company.
Okay.
So I do manage quite a few doors for some of the local landlords out here in Sherman, Texas. And
Okay.
so that's how I kind of got in the door with, being able to speak with the private owner themselves and run my pitch as to what we're doing and the transitional program and how it works. And yes, Rod, and in the event that you not too familiar with it, that there are so many foxes of this game. Oh yeah. And so we basically capitalize on, we have a veterans facility in DeSoto. We have a senior living facility in Denison, Texas. And here we just have a co-ed situation where we cater to the homeless women and men. We also cater to reentry for those that are getting out of prison, those that are getting out of jail, they're on parole or probation. We also cater to the aging out, and those are the young guys who they never got adopted, but they were in foster care up until 18, and so they'll send them to us. And then it's our job to help try to grow them up a little bit more.
Well, that's interesting. That's I want to talk to you a little bit more about that because then we want to talk about. I'm going to share kind of what we're doing with the houses, right? How to buy some of these properties, and I know Rod's going to tap out real quick, so let me go ahead and switch over to Mr. Rod real quick. Hey, Rod, I know you got to tap out real quick. I appreciate you being on the show and sharing all the awesome, beautiful stuff that you're doing, and and being able to be transparent about this stuff. Go ahead and you come on back and let's wrap it up, and then we're gonna move forward to the show, and then I want to hear a little bit more from Anthony, see what we got some of his feedback. You there, Rod? Did I miss you? Are you there? Got you on. I think you're on. Was it mute? Okay. Well, if he comes back in, cool. We'll go ahead and rock. But I know that Anthony, you're so with the transitioning stuff, which is awesome. And then obviously when we talk about some of these, I won't get you have to share some of like the ultimate intimate details. But I know like finding some of these houses, right? And then being able to purchase these properties subject to existing financing, seller financing, and I know you're doing maybe a hybrid. Are you doing any type of like lease options with rent to own type stuff or no?
I do. Well, I met with a landlord yesterday who was offering a rent to own situation. Mm-hmm. Man, listen, brother, with Eric, we walked through the property and all of that. It's a 3-2 single family. And, he made it sound so extraordinary because it was newly renovated. It looks okay. But it was actually a bit too small. So when I asked for the price, he said $308,000. And I'm like, man, I almost lost my breath. I'm like, sir, unfortunately, that's a bit much for this,
Right.
So, but he did offer that, lease to own.
He did offer.
And then I have a situation right now that I'm actually living in, and I'm gonna be going to that landlord to see if he's willing to do a, lease to own a Subto as I learn a little bit more. But I know that he will be open.
Okay, so tell me about that guy because he was obviously asking too much for retail, right? But as far as
Yes.
rent, was the rent fair, or was it over rent, or was it
It
over?
absolutely was not fair. So for rent, he was asking for 2250 a month.
Okay,
That is a bit outrageous, even for Texas.
really?
I'm excited to be working with you because we're gonna get a lot of the properties out here in Texas, and it's really good. Out here.
It's definitely primed for what we're talking about, right?
Oh
And
yeah,
even just taking them down, cherry picking, and then doing the other things that you're doing with the transitional homes and things of that nature. And yeah, there's just as I was talking, I think with Liz a couple of days ago about like California used to be, hey, there's gold in them their hills, right? Let's go to California. Let's go get some gold. Let's go stake our land. And then, eventually, hey, let's go, become a musician or artist, or, let's go become a movie star or something like that. It was California was the jam, right? Now it seems like everything is going to Texas, California.
yep,
Texas is like a
yeah,
new California gold rush, except
yeah,
dirt and oil and housing and all kinds of other stuff in tech, even because Elon Musk is out there in Austin, Texas, right? So
yep. He's down south.
yeah,
He bought up a whole city.
I know, isn't that insane? And he's
Yeah,
probably drilling tunnels all through Texas, right?
yeah, most likely,
Across the
man.
United
But yeah,
States of America, who knows with that company he
it's
has, right?
true.
So that's exciting stuff. But I noticed that I call it the Texas Triangle, right? So we got all the way up to Dallas, Austin, Houston, and then obviously in between on the bottom right there with Corpus Christi and all that good stuff, right?
Oh yeah,
So and you're out in Sherman. So Sherman's a little closer to Dallas, I assume, right? Like you're mentioning.
that's correct. We're about 45 minutes to an hour from Dallas.
Gotcha. So I'll tap back into now. Obviously, when we get into some of the stuff you're gonna be sharing, I'm gonna share some stuff with you, right? Which is like the Subto calculator and all that good stuff. Other calculators for different ways, right? For the Subto, seller finance, lease options, rent to own, because those all come into play. I call it all creative real estate investing at the end of the day, right? And even wholesaling is considered creative wholesale, creative real estate, simply because it's not traditional, right? You're not using an agent. You're not doing a traditional thing, going to the bank and getting an FHA loan or a conventional loan or any type of USDA loan or anything like that. So with that, the gentleman who said, one, he had the property is overpriced, and two, the rent was outrageous. What was area rent for that property, if you don't mind me asking?
Believe it or not, the area rent for that property. Now I manage a property right next door to it. I charge 1650 a month for the 3 bedroom right next door to it. I have a family in there. And so yeah, but his was super outrageous at 2250. And then wanting to sell it for 308,000. It just absolutely doesn't work.
Okay. So was he doing like a lease option or rent to own thing? What was he offering?
He was doing the rent to own thing.
Okay, so rent to own, yeah. So we'll won't get deep into it, but yeah, there's then that's kind of the post or pre-show or 7 p.m. The live domination real estate webinar. I'll share that with you as well. But that's what we're doing this evening, is talking about that, right, and how to dominate your area with what you're doing in your area with these buying, be able to buy these properties, and it can be done with it. I don't care if it's single family. Everybody's talking about the RVs and the storage units and car washes and all that other good stuff, right? Everything could be done with creative real estate investing. But with this guy here, the rent to own thing is usually the most that you're going to pay. We've done rent to owns in the past as well, and they're cool. They're okay with like mobile homes. You can do mobile homes on land. It can be done on any type of property, but usually the price is going to be very high on the purchase of the price of the property, and then the rent's going to be super high. And then usually you want to give some rent credits, right? Saying, hey, like rent was what, 2,000 some change, you said?
Yep.
And area rent's probably about what, 1,600, 1,700?
That's correct. So when you do the comps in that area,
Yeah.
you'll see that he's way outpriced. And that's where I think he lacks the experience. Also, he couldn't have outdone the comps in that area for what he was trying to charge.
Yeah, he probably just got a number and goes, hey, that's what I want. That's what I need. Or who knows how he got his information, right? I know that we'll get a property. We'll look at the comps. And then, we know if it's going to be rent to own lease purchase, that they're going to pay a premium, but we're looking at a premium. I hate to say speculation, but real estate is speculation anyway. The way you look at it, because it's comparable market analysis. That's considered speculation, right? To a degree. You're looking at the future value. You're trying to figure out what the value is going to be, and then you're looking at the future value of maybe a 1, 2, 3 years without knowing what's happening. But with this real rent-to-own stuff, we are speculating, because maybe let's say $250,000 property. Maybe that's the current value right now, and then we're going, hey, for a premium, because your credit is what it is, right? And maybe you got a job. It's been 2 years. You had some problems, some issues. You got some money down, right? And you want to be able to get into a rent-to-own property. Then that property might go up to $290 purchase price, right? When you purchase it. And then even the rent, let's say it is $1,700, so you might charge an extra $200 or $300 on the premium. But at least you're gonna if you pay your rent on time, those are gonna be rent credits, right? So I'll give you 100. Some people do 50, some people do 200, maybe it's 300, whatever that landlord decides or the owner decides to go ahead and do. It's weird to do that. And maybe 16, 17, 18, $1,900, maybe 2,000, right? Maybe 1,950 or whatever. But then they know they're paying a premium because their interest rate's not there. Maybe they don't have enough money down either. But it's going to help them at least get into a piece of property. Yes, they'll have to make that premium. Yes, they'll have to put a down payment, but it's considered a deposit, right? It's considered a deposit until they actually do the refi or actually get a loan, get their credit lined out, save some more money, and then purchase the property in a year to 2 to 3 years. And then be able to purchase it. Hopefully it gets to 290, right? Because obviously if it doesn't, you can't sell it to them because it's not going to appraise, right? Then you got to adjust the numbers. But at the same token, renting it and giving them some rent credits, those rent credits will go in as a deposit until they execute. Then the down payment, when they execute, those deposits will convert over into what's called a down payment, right? And then go from there. With the lease purchase, a little bit different because they're going to put more money down, right? They are going to do the lease purchase. And now obviously then, it might be a little bit lower as far as the price, maybe $270. And then the rent's going to be closer to what area rent is, right? You want to be able to cash flow, obviously, right? And then a lot of those could be done with wraps, right? For example, you're getting a lot of properties right now, Anthony, that are 2, 3, and 4% interest rates, right? We're getting those in California and Texas, all over the place. I think we're looking at one in Texas. I'm not sure if do you know where Converse is at?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so some properties out there and some other better areas. I think, but I heard that there was some, foundation type issues with houses. Well, otherwise we're going to pick that one up. But the interest rate was, I think, 2.5%, right? So at 2.5%, that's a great interest rate. Payment about what was it? I think 11 or $1,200, right? With a little bit of HOA, and area rent maybe going to be about 2 to 22, right? So that's a good cash flow type of property, right? And then being able to mark it up and then being able to raise the rent or raise the price of the rent, and then being able to wrap it and arbitrage the interest rate, 2.5, and then maybe sell someone out at that 6 or 7% interest rate, right? Today's rates, and arbitrage that, and then be able to do a wrap and have them put some money down so you can recoup your cash to obviously purchase the property, clean it up a little bit, and then resell it to someone else who says, hey, I got some decent credit, I got some okay money, but I can't afford that because, thanks to the FICO score system, right? and all that BS that they got out there to keep people, from achieving that type of stuff, which is owning a home, buying a house, corporate credit, all that good stuff, right? Or just regular credit. They're able to do that, but you don't got to kill it, right? So like you said, maybe he's new or maybe he's just greedy, right? At the end of the day, who knows? Well, it could be one of the two. Not to say anything bad about anybody, but that's, you want to make it to the point where the most important thing for lease options rent to own is the payment. Can they afford the payment? The other stuff, the equity, that's going to come down the road, right? 1, 2, 3 years and execute down the road. But also what they're doing, the transitions, things of that nature. Hey, why couldn't you get into a lease purchase, right? And then eventually maybe, take it down, do what you're going to do with it. And then, obviously it's a business, so it'd be a different type of loan, right? If you occupy it, then it's one thing, like for yourself, right? Do the lease purchase, you can occupy it for yourself. Once that and ready to execute in 1, 2, 3 years or whatever you agree, then at least you're locking it in, right? You're locking in that price, you're locking in, and the mortgage hopefully makes sense at the end of the day, right? And then you can execute it, which is an awesome thing. Sub 2 is a little bit different. Where that Texas one, we're thinking of doing Sub 2 on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you take it down subject to existing financing, because there was some back payments at the end of the day, they just make up the back payments, clean it up, fix it up, either flip it or say, hey, this is a great rental. Let's just keep it, right? Because the interest rate's high. And then maybe, down the road, if we decide, we can go ahead and arbitrage it and then, do a wrap and sell it to someone else who wants to take pride of home ownership. So you can see all the avenues that are there, right, at the end of the day. So I'm excited for you for coming aboard and getting started. I know you're going to be rocking and rolling and sharing this with your network at the end of the day. So we're excited about that as well.
Oh, yeah.
So anything you want to share, anything that's been that intrigued you about obviously what we do, happy to have you at the same token. And,
Well, I guess there is there's a lot of things I want. Great conversation yesterday, man. Like it was really fulfilling. And of course, I believe that it was divine. So I'm grateful for you. Secondly, there was so much that I wanted to run by you. So now that we just spoke on that property, would that be something ideal for you?
For that property or well, okay, one more time. Maybe reframe the question or reframe it for me.
With even though I'm thinking, for me, 308 was a bit much for a 3.2 in that area. But because he has the lease to own option, would that be something ideal for you or for the program?
It just depends on what we dig in a little bit. I would suggest run a title profile if you can, if you got access to getting some information. I know Texas is a non-disclosed state, but there's still ways of getting that information, right? To see like what is the O or the conversation. That's when we're going to be talking, right? It's called the art of the deal or the Amp Live method, right? When we actually I did a little bit earlier, I was talking about the mission is the submission. So we're gonna get you hooked up as well. Yes, and get a web page, or we'll share ours with us. But being able to open the call, discovery, closing the call, and getting all that information from him. Now, if he's a tired landlord or if he's a savvy landlord, some are going to give you some gruff, right, and some are just going to be open about everything. The ones that are going to give you gruff is because, hey, maybe they're just they're old dogs, or I don't want to say old dogs, but they're like, hey, their jam is their jam. They're experienced, right? But if they're not willing to share that information, then it becomes a red flag. You're like, hey, tell us what's on the first. Well, I'm not going to tell you that, or go look it up yourself. I'm like, okay, well, man, you having a bad day? If he's like, no problem, yeah, what do you owe on the first? Because you're doing this lease option stuff, rent to own. We want to look at that. We want them to share that with us. As I mentioned with Rodrigo earlier and others, as we do this stuff, we're qualifying the sellers, the investors, the buyers at the end of the day, not the other way around, to see if we want to work with them, right? And if they're going to have bad attitudes, or they're not going to disclose stuff, because if they don't disclose what's on the first one, you can look it up, right? Then what's going to happen, right? And I always say this: they're not going to disclose the foundation issues, the termites, electrical, and they're going to say, figure it out, spend the money on an inspection, and go that route. It's kind of like the hardcore method, right? Which is fine if you really want the deal, or if it's a bang up deal, right? If it's a bang up deal, then let's do it. If it's something that's premium and it's going to be more headaches and a red flag pops up, then, so let me ask you that question: how's the guy's demeanor? You met with him, right? You went and seen the property and everything, right?
Yeah, I met with him yesterday. Okay. And his demeanor to me, definitely eager and desperate.
Okay.
But he also comes off as if he's fairly new to the landlord side of this thing.
Oh, okay. So do you think he bought it to do lease purchases just for that reason, or rent to own for that reason, or something?
Yeah, I do.
Maybe went
I absolutely do.
Or something.
Yeah, I do, because he definitely had it, newly renovated. But
okay,
to somebody that's not in the business, I guess it would probably mean something different. I wasn't all that impressed, with the materials, that he used. And I, from experience, I know that, he spent the very minimum on the materials that he used.
For the rehab.
But it did look good.
You talking about for the rehab?
For the rehab.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I seen a picture or two of some of yours there. You got some nice stuff in there, and it looks pretty good. So quality is obviously a good thing for you. So that's awesome. So, but he said the quality on his property was like, was it like lipstick on a pig or what?
Yes, sir.
Was it?
Yeah, I really think so. It was like lipstick on a pig, and he was really trying to sell it, as for being a luxurious thing.
Really?
And,
Wow.
and I think, I really think that he probably overspent
Okay.
on rehab,
Yeah.
and so he's trying to get it off the top by
Mm.
by charging 308,000, and you know,
And trying to do the rent to own release option premium. What is
oh
the
yeah.
property worth? What do you think it's worth? I mean, I know you know your stuff there, so
Yeah, well, so the house that I have next door, it was 182. It's
182.
182. Yeah, yeah. And
Woo.
so
Okay.
the guy is trying to sell. He's trying to sell properties on a corner. It's a corner lot, but it's not even sitting on an acre or anything like that to make it like that. Oh, also he wasn't open to the transitional program. He just wanted it for me and my family to live in, but it's not big enough.
Right. It's not big enough.
Not big enough.
Okay.
Now,
Gotcha.
now, if I could switch
And
up a little bit
go ahead.
and ask you about
Yeah.
another property that so are we only dealing with single family properties? Because like I mentioned in briefly yesterday, I have a commercial property
Right.
across the street from me.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. Commercial. It doesn't matter. It could be storage units. It could be multifamily. It could be hotels, motels. Anything that's real estate related can be. We can use creative techniques to be able to get into it. I got to share with others too as well. It could be 40,000, 400,000, or 40 million. The motivation is a little bit different, right? Taking over a $40 million property and things of that nature, but it does happen. People do like, hey, get into those situations. Hey, you could give me $3 or $4 million and it's yours, right? No problem. But then you got to raise 3 or 4 million. You got to make sure it's going to cash flow. Are you going to be able to stabilize it? So yes, the answer to your question is it doesn't matter what you got. Let's take a look at it. It's all going to come down to the story and come down to the situation. And the more problems that, like I mentioned yesterday to you, right? The more problems that the seller has, the more money we're going to make with our skill sets because we should be getting paid to be able to solve those multiple problems.
Well, this particular seller,
Okay.
and I'll give you a little more insight on the building.
Okay.
It's a historical property. It was used as a church.
Oh, wow.
And then it was renovated here of recent, and so they put an add-on to it and modernized it.
Okay. Permitted or no?
There's also an older commercial building on side of it that's pretty much included in the package. It used to be a plumber's company a long time ago, but now it's just been used for storage for the owner.
Oh, okay.
It's so the whole thing, and then there's a parking lot. So it's a whole block.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
It takes up
Okay.
one whole block, and he's asking for 400,000.
400?
Yeah,
Is that what it's worth or no?
I think it's worth more.
Okay.
I
So
think
he's
it's worth
asking-
more.
Go ahead.
I think it's worth more, but I haven't run any comps on it.
Okay.
But I do think it's worth more. As I am holding the keys because he's like, I'm going to trust you.
Okay.
Shoot, so hallelujah, man.
All
So
right.
yeah,
Cool. What's like the current rent down there? What can you get?
well, man, I can get about 3,000 to 5,000 a month.
Okay.
For that.
And is there a mortgage on it?
It's not a mortgage on it.
0? Free and clear?
So, but free and clear.
Okay.
But here's the backstory on it is, again, I might have mentioned briefly
Yeah.
yesterday.
Right.
Uh, the church members, the two leaders, and their parishioners, they end up, you know, having some discord.
Okay.
So one of the leaders and his parishioners, they stopped paying the tithes, and also from a business perspective, they got behind, and so the other leader had to use his own money and catch it up, and so that gave him the interest uh, in the building.
So there's a loan on it.
So I don't believe the loan is clear.
Oh, it is. Okay,
It
so it
is
got paid.
clear.
So one of them paid it.
He did.
Oh, okay.
His company did, because
Okay.
he's definitely a part of a little elite group. They got some savings and all.
Okay. All right. So there's
So
no
they was
back
going.
payments. There's nothing needs to be paid. So that's okay.
Nothing needs to be paid.
Okay.
The church was in litigation as the two sides were trying to go to court for it, and of course he ends up winning.
Mm, okay.
So me right now, although I have introduced three investors in it who's interested, I really would have wanted it, for myself, but I just, lack everything, sure, to
Okay.
seal the deal. But because the owner he's trying to sell it to me, but
Okay.
it's such a good deal, I didn't want
Yeah.
to let it go. So I,
Right.
introduced three investors.
Okay. So
Uh,
what does he want for it?
so when we last talked, he said 400,000.
Okay. So he wants 400,000. And what do you think it's worth?
Probably, yeah, I think it's probably worth maybe 750, 800,000, if not more.
Mm-hmm. And what about like repairs to get it up to par so you can? What are you going to do with it?
We're going. The plan was to convert the modernized part to a daycare,
Okay.
and slash it'll also be used as a community center. You know,
Okay.
so there are office spaces in there that could be easily rented out to young entrepreneurs or officials.
Okay.
There's also a sanctuary in there that can just be converted to an auditorium style, to where it could be rented out or leased out for presentations, company meetings, revivals,
Mm-hmm.
team meetings, weddings, whatever you may need, like that type of setting for.
So how much do you think it's going to cost to make that happen?
Yeah, probably about 500,000.
500.
Yeah, I would say
Wow.
that would cover the 400 would cover his asking price, and
Okay.
then probably another
Oh,
100,000
okay.
in rehab.
Gotcha. Okay. So 100,000 rehab. Okay. Got it. And then purchase price, you said about 450, 400 is what he wants, right?
Right, he's asking 400.
So seller's asking needed repairs. What I'm doing right here is just popping into our calculator we got, right? It's a seller finance offer calculator for AHA. You see the screen, but I'm going to go through these numbers with you just for just to go through it. Now let me down payment. Now I get it. This is obviously cash. He wants cash and to go all that good stuff, but just for the topic of the show and be able to show that, hey, yes, anything could be subject to seller finance. It's just finding the motivation at the end of the day, right?
He's willing.
He's
He's
willing to do.
willing to do seller finance.
Okay, how much does he want down? That's awesome.
Yeah. So he asked me, how much will you give me a month?
All
What's it
right.
worth to
Oh,
you?
how much a month?
Yeah. So I told him between 3 to 5,000. He told me give him 3,000 the first year, 4,000 the next year. I said, if we do that, then I need the terms to be lease to own from you. And so
Uh-huh.
he's willing to do that also.
Okay. So then how much you got to put down though to take it over? What does he want down?
He hadn't mentioned that to me.
Okay, because you got the payment's cool, so you got that locked down at 3,000. You can probably rent stuff out, and once you get all up and running, spend 100K to get it all up and running and stabilize. You can probably get up to 45 to 5,000. You said, right?
Correct.
So you got a little cash flow. Take some time, maybe 3, 4, 5 years stabilize, depending on because you got to make that 100,000 back and all the other good stuff. But then you got a down payment. So do you think he's going to want to do? Think he'll do like 5, 10, 15, 20%? What do you think he's going to want?
I thank you for asking me this because I definitely I got to speak with him tomorrow so I can ask him.
So let's go 400,000. Let's just pop some numbers and let's go some hypothetical and see what happens. Okay, so we'll do 400K, and then say let's just go with if he is he pretty flexible? Is he like, hey, you know what, that's cool, I just want to pay it forward, or I like what you're doing, or I like you, or it's more like I have to have what I have to have to get my recoup some money? Because when we're talking about down payment, it's going to be about, well, what does he need right now, right? Does he want to just recoup his expenses, or what happened, with the situation, the money that he had to spend to obviously, recoup to make up the back payments, so those become the numbers that is motivating. As you learn, we start working together, right? I call it the Amp Live method, right? Dropping those seeds, inquiring minds want to know, and getting that information so we can develop a solution for them, right? That makes them feel warm and fuzzy inside. You got to feel warm and fuzzy inside. As investors, probably got to feel warm and fuzzy inside, right? If there's somebody that doesn't feel warm and fuzzy inside and can't sleep at night, then you can't work the deal, right? It's not worth it. You know that.
Yes.
You just got to figure something else out or move on. But if he's flexible, sounds like he's pretty flexible to me, right?
He's flexible to the point to where he dropped off the keys to me and said,
"Yeah,
hey,
right.
Man, I'm trusting you, man.
Make it happen."
I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do it one way or the other.
Good. All right, let's do this then. Let's go with we want to start off at 10%.
Yes, sir, we do.
All right, this time let's do 10%, see what it comes out to. We always know the numbers, right? So about 40K. So we'll pop, let's say 40K. Let's say he wants 40,000 down. And he's going to do 3,000 a month, right? And what type of interest rate does he want? Or did he say?
And we hadn't discussed that yet either.
Okay. So let's just say, he can try to gouge you at 6, 7%, right? Or he can give you some love at maybe 5.5 or 4% or something, right? So this, what do you think he'll do? Just curious. Remember, this
I think he'll give me some love.
Okay, so let's go with what's already punched in here, 5.5%. Okay, and then let's go with the amortization of about 30 years, amortized over 30 years. You said market rent is about $4,500. I don't know exactly what the taxes are, so I'm just going to go whatever in the calculator right now. Like insurance, I'm sure taxes are going to be based off of what he sell or what he owes now. It's free and clear, right? So, but there was probably a loan on it at one time, so we don't know. Do you know what his property taxes are on that thing right now, or no? Might as well ask, right?
I definitely will inquire about that too.
Okay, and then insurance, obviously, find out about that. Maintenance reserve, obviously, we put a percentage like 5%. There's no HOA or triple net or anything like that.
That's correct.
Okay, cool. So then we're looking at exit strategy, hold period. How long you want to hold this? How long you want to keep
it? Eventually, I'd like to keep it forever.
Okay. Well, we'll just go ahead and we'll put like for stabilization purposes and all that good stuff. We'll just put 3 years, annual appreciation, 3 years, exit cost if you have to exit about 8%, right? So when we punch in all these numbers, we're looking at a monthly payment to the seller. So if you're able to work it out, right? And although he wants 3,000. But if you're so you might have to put some more money to just adjust the down payment. But what's popping out here for your monthly payment at about 5% or 5.5%, right, is about $2,044. That's principal, interest, 30-year amortized, right? Salary carry note about $360 because you're going to put $40K down. Effective loan rate, and you know all this good stuff because you do the loan stuff, right? So you're probably better at it than me.
I'm up for saying this is great.
Huh? What's that?
This is great.
Awesome. No, I appreciate you. So I'm having fun, man. I'm enjoying it too, man. So want more? Let's do some more of this stuff. All right, so effective loan to value about 46.5. Looking at the quick reference on note, right? 360,000, about 1,900, but we're looking at 2,000, right? So cash flow analysis, monthly cash flow. If you did that, well, obviously we adjust the numbers. It's gonna, but if I change it, we put more down so we can adjust to get it to the 3,000. Then if you could push it to the 45 to 5,000, obviously you know what your monthly cash flow is going to be. But based on this, with 400,000, 40 down, 5.5 interest rate. We're looking at monthly cash of about 1616. So 1616 annual. 19K, about 19K per annual. Effective rent 42, which obviously you think you can get it to 45 or 5, which is going to increase the cash flow. Total monthly expenses about 2659. Of course, that's going to be low because we don't know what the insurance and the property taxes and all that good stuff is, right? But we're also looking, the juicy part is the cash on cash return investment, about 37%, which is awesome. DSCR, if you once you get it up and it's stabilized and you do the 100,000, you get it all up there, and you got some tenants and stuff, then you might want to think about, right, the DSCR loan, pull some cash out, either to rehab it more or put more money into it, or obviously start doing what your goal is, right, that we disclosed to me, which is start fixing and flipping and doing more of what you mentioned to me before, right? Which could be a great asset to do. And this is at a 2.09 based on the numbers here, which is, I believe, I think you only got to be down to don't quote me on that because I'm not the lender, but you know how DSCR loans work, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what that minimum number is. I can't remember, but I know it's like 120, 124, 130 or something like that. Or this one's obviously a lot higher. It doesn't matter. But equity and exit projection, right? So let's just say you did decide to exit in 3 years. Equity at purchase 375, projected exit at value is about 846,863. Loan balance at the exit 344, right? So that gets all paid back. Exit costs, commissions, closing costs about 67. Total profit if he decided to say, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and sell this thing off in 3 years or longer, or just say hypothetically. So you're at about a total profit at exit is about 452,674. So that's a sale. Cash flow is 58,000 for that period of time. Go ahead.
Oh, that was my background. And I need to, as juicy as this is, I have to teach Bible study at 7:00. So I definitely need a little time to prepare.
You got it. Sounds good. But this is awesome. Thanks for sharing this. But let's continue to move forward, right? At the end of the day, and talk some more about this, but this will be privately. Obviously, there's no, it's just a hypothetical thing out there, no addresses or anything like that, but it looks good, man. So definitely let's talk a little bit about that and other properties that you got coming down the wire. What time's your Bible study? You said at now, it sounds like, right? Or no?
At 7:00. I just need to make my preparations.
You gotcha. When do you think you'll be done?
Within an hour.
Okay, cool. Yeah, definitely. We can definitely catch up. I have some stuff and things I want to share with you anyways. So if we could catch up after this, man, I appreciate this. Is lovely stuff. I appreciate you adding some value here and being able to share this stuff and being transparent.
That's cool. Hey, listen. Oh yeah. So I'm on Central Time. So I think you 2 hours behind me. I think.
Right.
Oh,
okay. Now I get it. Yeah.
All right, that works. Oh yeah. So I'll talk to you this evening, Eric.
Sounds good, Anthony. Have a good one.
Yes, sir. You too.
All right, bye-bye. All right. Hey, I appreciate it. That was some good stuff. I know we're going into about an hour and a half, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. So we'll be at an hour and 30 minutes approximately. Definitely like, love, and share. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody who watches and shares this stuff. Definitely like, love, and share. Obviously, some good stuff there. That's looking good and looking like a good possible deal based on those things. But wanted to just come back and close it out real quick. Obviously, we know we got the 4th of July rocking and rolling here. That's coming down the wire. 3 deals. So let me go ahead and do this real quick. I'm going to put that right there. We're going to do a little intermission. We usually want to have what's called a commercial card, right? We're going to take a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to roll through some sponsors and commercial stuff that I need to do. But 1 second. All right. So we had an hour and 30 minutes. So that was some awesome, good stuff. I do thank them for sharing. At the end of the day, this is live. No Memorex. Well, Memorex will do some replays here and there, and obviously this will be chopped up, monetized. But July 4th, 250 anniversary, hosted by Erick Jimenez. In God We Trust. We got 3 live deals that'll be rocking for this week, all the way through the weekend. Take advantage of it while they're here, before they're gone. 3 July 4th offers until midnight, right? Once again, it's always going to be midnight, right? Every Sunday. So I'll definitely be back tomorrow for Thursday Deals Day. Probably out in the field or at some properties and things of that nature, or here in the studio. Friday for Friday highlights, Saturday from Saturday training, and back to the Sunday sermon rants and raves, which is one of my favorite shows. And then this will obviously be over, but hopefully on 4th of July, you'll have a safe one, a beautiful one. But today, I know we got at 7 p.m., so we got 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to have the AMP Live Domination Live Networking Meetup. We'll probably have some more guests there as I shoot out these, as we get people to come aboard and share what's going on with them. Now, obviously, you can jump on that webinar. It's down below. It's actually in the chat right now. You can jump on that. This is for tonight. Creative Real Estate Domination Live Networking Meetup with AHA and fellow American investors. America's 250th. Declare your independence. That's what this is all about, right? Tonight, you're going to be learning about the $810 Subto secret the bank doesn't want you to know or is hiding from you. The 4 creative finance doors. No bank is needed, right? And they don't want you to know about that either. A live deal, yes, tear down in real time. We'll probably talk about one of these here in Southern California, or maybe a Texas or Florida or other state. I'll pick one out that's nice and juicy. And then I'll pick one out that's a dud, right? Because it's going to be able to go, man, this is not a deal. You need to move on, right? You should know that stuff. You need to know what a deal is and what a deal is not. We'll also do the Real American First Deal Success Stories. So we're going to talk about that. Some of my stories, other people's stories, testimonials, and things of that nature. It's just so you see that it's proof in the pudding at the same time. It's battle tested. AHA Americans Helping Americans. There is if you didn't get the calculator, definitely jump on it. We appreciate it. Appreciate you utilizing. Hopefully you enjoy it at the end of the day as well. I'll put that right up here. So you can download the free Subto Fix and Flip calculator with 3 bonuses. One is basically, well, you're getting 4. Actually, you're getting four products here, four things, 4 tools for your bag of tricks. One is the Subto calculator. Bonus number 1, the Subto analysis checklist. And number 2 is the 5 motivated seller scripts that work. And then number 3, the maximum allowable offer cheat sheet, right? So definitely grab that. It's going to be in the chat as well. So thank you for watching the AMP Live Real Estate Show and AMP Live TV, your host always of AHA and AMP Live. And definitely you want to get on this show and you want to share your wares and software, things of that nature, just DM us and we'll make that happen. I believe we're supposed to do that with Mr. Jose. He's doing some funding stuff. So a shout out to him because he had some good tips. I appreciate you, man. And sharing that stuff with the TikTok and YouTube and the social media love. But I know he's doing some funding stuff that he's found out and discovered. And so I want to get him on here to share that with you and with others about what he's doing. He's a fix and flipper. He likes fixing and flipping, but you can only do so much when you're, with private money, hard money, and things of that nature. So he found some ways of going, hey, he can get some of his funders to get some more money so he can borrow more money and make more money. And they all make more money at the end of the day by being able to fund some of the stuff and getting some funding. I'm going to go ahead and do this as the amplify the art of the deal. Okay. I'll share that with you. Amplify the art of the deal. And let me see, before I wrap up here, I think that's all the things I wanted to share with you. We do have this tonight, the American Mentee Program and the AMP Live Domination Live Networking Meetup for our sponsors, Mortgage for Millennials, and everyone else too. You definitely can get in contact with VIP Execs Realty Lending and Investments, and they'll help you out with that. I believe, let me put a QR code here so you can scan that QR code. Excuse me, and grab it. I'm going to go ahead and put this up here so you can, where's it at? There it is. So there's going to be one on the corner, way up in the corner, free list of homes. And also another one down here, so you'll be able to get access, be able to find properties in Southern California on market as well. Share both of us here. So also lock in your spot for the one-on-one mentoring program. That is still available. Only 2 spots are left for the American Mentee program. That is true one-on-one mentoring. And if you take advantage of it, I should say. And it is a selection process. That stuff will be in the chat as well. And I'll go way all the way back to the top. If you didn't get our Surfing for Deals, like I mentioned before on TikTok, as we're going live on TikTok every day, and it was Surfing for Deals is going to help you find those deals, right? And then the second part is being able to talk to sellers. So you need to get those scripts. That's going to help you with the Subto scripts. And it's not just Subto scripts. There's scripts in there for tired landlords. That's for some Subto stuff, NODs, all that good stuff. There's about 5 scripts to help you. And then the last is the maximal level offer. Everything you need to know, which is part of the underwriting, because that'll be part of the third part is underwriting. You need to know what a deal is and what a deal's not, like we did today with seller financing. You do it with Subto, you can do it with wholesaling, you can do it with fix and flip and buy and hold. And it doesn't matter, like I said, whether it's single family or commercial property. Definitely, here's my speaker card. So if you think that I'd be a good fit for any other podcasts or shows and things of that nature, that's slated for obviously for 2027, but we're getting started, or I'm getting started now as well, to be able to start booking those shows for the holidays as well as into 2027, to be able to talk about what we do here at AHA, Americans Helping Americans, one American at a time, one property at a time, one family at a time, doing our part to get America back on track together with you and others across the United States of America, and AMP Live and the American Mentee program, AMP Live Media, a media marketing and broadcasting company, as well as our sponsors and associate affiliate partners, I should say, for VIP Execs Realty, Lending and Investments. That is a little bit of information. If you think I'd be a good fit for some other shows, whether they're faith-based, whether they're patriotic-based, or whether it's entrepreneurs or life or just real estate in general or creative real estate, then definitely put out a shout out for me. I'd appreciate that. Now, this was the beginning of what this was all about, is being able to buy a property. I don't care if it's a commercial property, a single family property, a condo, a luxury property, right? It's going to, I know I don't want to go into a giant 2-hour thing, but I'm going to roll through this real quick and I'm going to wrap it up because we'll be back. And I'm going to share a lot of this on the AMP Live Domination Live Networking Meetup, okay? But where are you right now? Are you renting? You own? Are you investing? What exactly is happening there with you? Okay, just a quick poll, right? I started pretty much exactly where you're at, just trying to figure this stuff, but the system is there to lock you out, right? You got to have, obviously, the vehicle, the belief, and the deals are going to make those things happen, like with Rodrigo and others. Here's the doors to ownership, right? None of them need a bank, right? Subto, seller finance, lease options, like we're talking about with the lease purchase and rent to own. Those are powerful things that you can do. I'm not going to get into all this, right? But we'll get into, obviously, you got the Subto. We're going to talk about this evening as well at 7 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Seller finance, lease options. Which door is your door? And this works for other people, but not someone like me. That's a myth. That's not true. People we work with over the years have done this stuff, right? And it's definitely doable and it's possible for you as well. Are you ready to stop watching and start doing? Of course you are, right? Road number 1 is go by yourself. Road number 2 is get involved, right? Get involved with what we're doing. All right, so I'm going to move to, this is just some more stuff here. This is new. This is on TikTok. So if you go catch TikTok and you can jump on that deal, I'd say do it. You're going to have live coaching, real deal breakdowns, proven scripts and contracts. This is going to be another platform, another community product that's going to be on school. Obviously, this is our charter program, and that's for the more advanced people who are ready to rock and do deals. It only takes about 10 minutes for the one-on-one strategy call. That's our project that we were talking about. And yes, you're only one deal away to get this thing rocking and rolling. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and rock this up real quick. Put this back up here. So no theory, no fluff, just real estate deals in action. I'm going to say God bless you with abundance, prosperity, health, and wealth. We'll see you back here at 7 p.m. And then, hey, there'll be some links out there. So if you signed up, I know, thank you for the people that did sign up. So I appreciate you. And you'll definitely going to get a private link, and we're going to be rolling that on RE Stream. So definitely you'll have that. And then we'll get into it, Q&A, all that good stuff. You want to get deals like Mr. Anthony, bring them to the table. We'll discuss them. We'll talk about them. May even get you an offer right there, because if you would have stood a little bit longer, we'd be going, hey, let's put this sucker together and let's rock and roll and solidify this deal, right? And anything else that you have on the table, but as well as an offering to come aboard the Amplified Creative Real Estate Investing Accelerator and the American Mentee Program, and of course our AHA community. So all those things are available. 3 deals, like I mentioned, for 4th of July. That is the promo. I think I put it up here. Where is it at? Right there. Boom. We'll end it with that. With the Amplified Real Estate Show for July 4th, 250th anniversary. Keep on rocking and rolling. Definitely like, love, and share. We appreciate you. You have a good and wonderful day. We'll be popping back here on and off at the end of the day, right? Because that's our gig. That's what we're doing. If you got deals, send them down the wire. We'd love to look at them, underwrite them, see if we can put something together. So we are looking for stuff in Texas and Southern California for sure, Texas Triangle, and then anywhere else in between. If you're wanting to come aboard, then reach out, do the application, or you can just easy peasy click the link, come aboard. Onboarding is easy. You'll get introduced to VIP Executive Realty Lending and Investments. We'll get you onboarded as well. We'll do a strategy call, and we'll get you up and running and rocking and rolling. All right. Until later on this evening at 7 p.m., I'll see you then. All right. Bye-bye.